Hi everyone, in this video I'll use OpenClaw for building a really cool project and using a very minimalistic setup, and I am running it on my Windows device and using Ollama. So let's just get started. First I'll just let you know. So when you install OpenClaw, just make sure you install it in WSL. And the Ollama things, yeah, you can do it in PowerShell. For Ollama, you just need to again install the Ollama application, and that will automatically set up most of the things. And then you can install these dependencies essentially. So you need Node and npm, these specific versions, and yeah, also how to set up the Ollama models in OpenClaw. So I'm running this again, but when you install OpenClaw, this window pops up and you just have to select these particular things, and it will ask you a lot of things like any skills to include or some other things, and you can just select no and everything, skip for now, skip for now. Basically you can actually skip everything for now, and if you find and then set it up later as well, or otherwise you in the place where you have to pick the models. So here are a lot of providers given, and I think there are some free ones in this as well. Mostly I think open code zen would provide you like a glm model, which is pretty good. However, I wanted to use kimi k 2.5 or deep 6 671 billion parameter model, and I don't think anyone other than Ollama provides as much free tier um, as like these other ones. So I thought I would find Ollama here as well in the providers, but even in the documentation it's mentioned, but it was not there. So for in that case, you can just select a custom provider, and you can enter the base URL as this, but it's actually better to enter it as llama.com, and I think slash API slash v1. I think it is this or something else, but I will show you the exact thing. But yeah, it's something like this, and then API key. When you make an account with Ollama, you can just go and generate an API key for yourself, so you can enter that, and you just enter that. Like for now, I can just like leave blank, and yeah, the endpoint. It is OpenAI compatible Ollama. Otherwise, you can also just ask it to detect it automatically. It will do that, and then the model name. So this is the model that I am using. So for the model name, you can add its an exact name, and yeah, you also have to like pull this model. So once you've installed Ollama on your system, you can just run this command, Ollama pull, and the exact model name, give me K2.5 cloud, and that will, yeah, once you run this command, you'd be good to go. And it's not running on your system, it's running on their own cloud server, so that's also pretty cool. And yeah, you just enter the model ID. Uh, I think the problem is I might have not entered the API base URL correctly. Uh, I can just show you this particular file. So yeah, once you install OpenClaw, it installs this folder which has all the files for that the OpenClaw application needs, I think. And cool. So I will have to redact my API key while video editing. But yeah, for the base URL, you enter ollama.com/v1, and you can add the model name exact. So what I want to do is, and so this folder inside the main OpenClaw the workspace folder, it is containing the entire set of instructions that you will ever pass to OpenClaw. So it just has a couple of files, not a very deep folder. So yes, the agents.md is, so all of these files are pre-written by the creator, bootstrap.md. So yeah, so this is the file which is responsible for this first response. It has been given the instruction that if bootstrap.md is there, you can see, and it explains the first conversation. So it will ask me a couple of questions, and yeah, yeah, these are just a couple of markdown files. Agents.md is where I will define my agent and what task it is doing. It will be much clearer what these files are doing once I start writing these for the project I'm building. Okay, so for the exact project which I am building, I have asked like ChatGPT to generate me the exact markdown files which will describe the project, and these files I'm replacing in the specific locations. Also, yeah, I just named it some random name, AI engineering assistant, and here are some commands that I specified, and then I would like to create here a memory.markdown. Then agents.markdown. Inside the agents, I would like to add this and tools. And I do not want it to go and give it access to my GitHub. Ideally, because for that I would require a little bit more security setup, which I am not doing for the scope of this video. I plan on making a more technically deeper dive in OpenClaw, and that's for another video for now. So there are a list of agents that have been defined in the agents file. Its role is to find one research paper worth implementing, search for one recent AI/ML paper that's interesting, so on, so on, so on. Then the analyst will extract the core method, not the entire paper. Yeah, and yeah, it's pretty understood. And all of these files, I will provide a link to a GitHub repository with these exact files. And yeah, one thing that's missing is I have to create this folder. Let me talk with this TUI now. In exactly 1 minute. Oh, nice. And let me see this. So now for the billing paper, I'm extracting only the core mechanism and turning it into a practical implementation plan and smallest faithful local demo. So yeah, under 150 lines of Python, I guess we can write more lines than that. Let's just say, I don't know, 1000 lines of Python. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, nice. and let's just build this. Let's take a look at the code. Okay. Mhm. Skill extractor, skill evaluator, skill graph classes. Skill extractor, extract skills, file operations. Okay, read, write, create. So it's not really running a model. It's just looking at the logs of the AI's implementation and then extracting what skills does this agent possess. Example, it can look at my chat with ChatGPT, and inside the chat, it might have read a PDF file, extracted some tables from it, made an Excel file from those tables. So it's supposed to extract those skills that this uh, LLM agent is possessing, and then there is some evaluation for those skills as well. Cool. Let's see if it's done with the. Okay, nice. And just one last thing, just use the critic. Nice. And nice. All the tests are passing and the demo looks good. So, yeah, I think this was a pretty good implementation. And we can see that the entire behavior of the system lives in a few Markdown files. And I can give it a prompt now that use the analyst and find the use the scout to find papers and use the analyst to get a winner and then a implementation plan, then use the builder to write the main file and test file and readme, then use a critic to just further refine the implementation, use the builder again, and in this way I can enable this mechanism to run in an agentic loop and it will keep on running. So that was it for this video. Pretty interesting use case for OpenClaw, and I do plan on making one with a more technical deep dive, talking about how the gateway of OpenClaw runs and how you can use Tailscale to connect with your mobile device. And I can also add, so you can see that right now the limit for the tokens is hitting, and we can add a layer of models, like the first model is DeepSeek from Ollama. Then if that exhausts, then I can add open code Zen as the second provider, open router as a third fallback provider. So that can also happen. So a lot of pretty interesting things that you can build with this device. Just have to make sure that it runs in a sandbox environment and you're not providing it too much access to anything. Essentially, I would not give it access to my GitHub profile just yet because it is quite too much autonomous, and unless I have a scaffolding that is preventing it from making destructive decisions, and that scaffolding does not mean just writing a another markdown file saying that do not do this operation. That's not reliable. It would require uh, like a pre-commit hook on GitHub, something like that can be helpful. But yeah, I guess I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will provide all of the code in the description, just all of the files that I added. And thank you for watching.